In lieu of a previously scheduled presidential debate, Donald Trump did a propaganda town hall last night with Sean Hannity, and he didn't remember who he is running against. It just keeps happening. At what point can we say it's not a joke? Trump certainly not speaking to a single new voter that he doesn't already have in this thing. And he repeatedly forgets who he is running against. Listen to this.
I can't imagine New Hampshire voting for him. Anybody in New Hampshire, because they're watching right now, but anybody in New Hampshire that votes for Biden and Kamala, I really...
He glitched out. He forgot who he was running against. Again, he forgets who he's running against. He forgets who's president. He doesn't know what is going on. And if you think that moment was a concern, well, there was a deranged and disastrously diabolical moment where Trump, in an authoritarian haze, tells the audience, you have no choice, but you have to vote for me, even if you do not like me.
I'm not going to allow it. You can't take the chance. You have no choice. You've got to vote for me. You've got to vote for me. You got to. Even if you don't like me, you know? Yeah. It's no, but even if you don't like me, you can sit there and say, I can't stand that guy, but there's no way I'm going to vote for her. No, you.
Well, you know what? People do have choices, and certainly tens of millions at minimum are planning to make a different choice. But this is a terrified Donald Trump. At another point during this Gong Show town hall, apparently a mosquito got into the room, really distracted Trump. And then he started ranting about bugs.
The debate, and I hate mosquitoes. I'm surprised. I didn't think we had. We don't like those mosquitoes running around. We want nothing to do with them. And we want nothing to do with bad politicians that hate our country, too. You want to know the truth.
Trump's train of thought completely derailed off the tracks altogether. As Trump has done before, he argued that his knowledge of nuclear programs is bolstered by the fact that his uncle was at MIT. And I don't know about you, but just because you once had an uncle who was a surgeon, I'm not letting you take a scalpel to me. And I think the same thing probably applies here.
Upgraded our entire program. And you know, the one program I hated to upgrade, hated it, was the nuclear program. And I understand it may be better than anybody. My uncle was at MIT, a professor, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, a very smart guy. We have a smart family. It's nice that
people are clapping that Trump's uncle had a job. I mean, how weird is this?
A smart family. But I understood nuclear for a long time. The power of nuclear weapons. You need a president that's not going to be taking you into war. We won't have World War III when I'm elected. But
right. You can trust that Trump will best handle nuclear proliferation because his uncle went to MIT, taught at MIT. Who the hell knows? And, you know, thinking back to our interview earlier in the show today with cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan, the crowd is playing their role. They clap when they are supposed to and expected to by the cult leader, even if it makes no sense. Why would you clap when Trump says his uncle was smart? Why is that even something to clap for? The crowd recognizes it as an applause line and they do it. In the latest instance of I know you are, but what am I? Trump says Tim Walz is weird. Super original, huh? Really, really original stuff. Sorry, here's the right quote.
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD.
How creative, huh?
He is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very solid rock. We're not weird. We're other things perhaps, but we're not weird.
Nuh-uh, we're not weird. You guys are actually the weird ones. Really convincing stuff, really motivating to voters to get out and vote for Trump, I'm sure. And then finally, after confusing himself multiple times about who he's running against in this campaign, Trump complains that Joe Biden decided to step aside. He doesn't like it.
He got 14 million votes and they threw him out. They said, we want you out. And he wasn't going to win, I don't think. I mean, I don't think he was going to win, but we did a good debate. We had a good debate, and it was a fair debate. And he was down like 18 or 19 points after the debate.
Okay, so that's very much not true. He was not down 18 points after the debate.
I hate mosquitoes. I'm surprised. I didn't think we had. We don't
So here's the mosquito portion.
like those mosquitoes running around. We want nothing to do with them. And we want nothing to do with bad politicians that hate our country, too. You want to know the truth. But they went to him and they said, we want you out. You're not going to win. And it was really a coup when you think about it.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't really a coup, but the very interesting part of this is that I do think Trump is correctly assessing one aspect of this. Much of what took place did come after an assessment from Joe Biden and the people around him that the race isn't looking good. And so Joe Biden made a decision that someone like Trump could never and would never make, which is, you know what? Instead of staying in this thing because of personal ego reasons, I'm going to do what is actually best for the party and what he believes is best for the country, which is what action can I take that reduces the chance that Trump becomes president? If they came to him and they said, sir, we're crying, you're going to lose. Well, then Biden said, let's figure out a way to make it less likely that Trump wins. And that's getting out and endorsing Kamala Harris, which is what they've done. Trump, I mean, we criticize him a lot. He is correctly assessed. That's the reason that that sort of started the chain of events that led to Kamala Harris today being the nominee. Trump recognizes it's going to be much tougher to defeat Kamala Harris than it would have been to defeat Joe Biden, and he's furious. This town hall, not really doing Trump any favors, reaching mostly people who are already either in the tank for Trump or on shows like this one, no chance in hell that they're voting for Trump. I don't know that these town hall events convince anybody. Many in the audience know my first language is Spanish. I learned English later when I moved to the United States. And these days I do a fair amount of traveling, and I always make an effort to learn some of the new language before I get to the country. I've tried a bunch of methods for this. I keep coming back to the app Babbel, because with Babbel, you really can start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. Instead of paying hundreds of dollars for classes or fooling yourself with language apps that are basically just simple games, Babbel is designed by real people for real conversations. All of Babbel's tools are approachable. They are rooted in real life situations. They're delivered with conversation-based teaching. You might have seen on my Instagram, I was recently in France. Babbel got me ready last minute. I got to France. I was ready to order food, ask for directions, talk to people at stores and hotels without having to use my phone to translate. There are studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others that continue to prove that Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is like a semester of that language at college. With over 10 million subscriptions sold, Babbel is real language learning for real conversations. Here's a special limited time deal for my audience. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for my audience at babbel.com/Pacman. Rules and restrictions may apply. The link is in the description.